Long before Spanish, a language related to Hebrew was spoken in some parts of what is now Spain. Hebrew originated as a distinct Canaanite language about 4,000 years ago in the Near East. At that time, a closely related language called Phoenician was spoken nearby. And back then, these languages were somewhat mutually intelligible because they shared a common ancestor pretty recently. Over the next 1,000 years, the languages started to drift apart a little bit more, and the Phoenicians started drifting literally to different parts of the Mediterranean. And about 3,000 years ago, they made it to what is now southern Spain. And it's not like they were just stopping by. These settlements lasted for centuries, and when they were finally taken over, it was actually by a different people that spoke a language related to Hebrew. That's because one of the Phoenician settlements in North Africa, called Carthage, started becoming its own independent power and spreading throughout the Mediterranean. And they continued speaking a Canaanite language in Spain up until the time of the Romans. Interestingly, all Canaanite languages like Punic, the language of Carthage, Phoenician, and Hebrew, used alphabets descended from the Proto-Canaanite alphabet of their ancestors. And we can use these inscriptions to see how all the languages were just originally dialects of the same language that drifted apart over time. And what's cool is that the Phoenician alphabet is actually the source of the Greek alphabet, which is the source of the Latin alphabet that I'm using right now. One thing to note about these peoples is that despite the fact that Hebrew speakers eventually became monotheistic, Canaanites were originally polytheistic. So for instance, the famous Spanish Carthaginian Hannibal has a name which means adored by Baal, and Baal was a Canaanite storm god. So the Canaanite descendants in Spain were definitely different from the Hebrews in the Bible, but they share the same roots.